as well as the MEC for Education, Ms. Lindy Masina. All esteemed guests, a warm South African welcome, all protocol observed. Your presence underscores the importance of the work being done in advancing research, innovation, and action in the face of global change. As we begin, allow me to briefly highlight the structure of the program. Over the next 4 days, you will experience a dynamic and enriching program. We have curated a mixture of panel discussions, side events, and scientific presentations to encourage diverse engagement and knowledge exchange. The presentations are divided into oral and poster sessions, each offering valuable insights across a range of research areas. We strongly encourage all delegates to participate in both oral and poster sessions, as each presenter contributes an important piece of our collective understanding. For ease of planning for the sessions, the updated conference program is available on the conference site. To officially guide us through the first session, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Naledi Ntite, who will be serving as the chair. Dr. Naledi has been in the higher education sector for about 20 years. Throughout the years, she has contributed to research management, innovation, research commercialization, grants management, and research capacity building programs. She has made significant contributions to strengthening South Africa's research and innovation landscape through strategic leadership, policy development, and mentorship of emerging researchers. She has led the development and implementation of research and innovation strategies, overseen multi-million rand research grants and scholarships, and advanced institutional compliance and accountability systems. Through her leadership, she supports NRF-rated researchers and continues to grow the portfolio, institutional research themes, tailor-made capacity building, and the university's research agenda, ensuring it remains relevant and impactful, creating a conducive environment for researchers to thrive. Dr. Ntite holds an MBA and a DBA. She is currently the Director of Research at the University of Mpumalanga since April 2024. She also holds a certificate in managing public policy from the Wits School of Governance and a certificate in monitoring and evaluation, from the University of Pretoria. Dr. Naledi, thank you for leading us this morning. With that, I wish you a meaningful and engaging conference.
Good morning once again, colleagues, and thank you for that great introduction. Sincere apologies for the delays this morning. As we start with our programs, distinguished guests, colleagues, our partners and delegates, it is my honor to chair this opening plenary session this morning. Before we begin officially, please, can you kindly ensure that your mobile device is on silent, and do take note of the emergency exit on the side and also at the back. And also the emergency assembling point, it's at the back of this venue, on your right and also on your left. Comfort facilities are at the back of this hall. And we have made water available on the entrances of this hall. Please ensure that you do access the program. If you don't have the program, it's on the website of the conference and also on the QR codes. Also for the Wi-Fi, it's been made available on the QR codes in different venues. Colleagues, we've got ushers who will be assisting you throughout the conference days. They are wearing the UMP yellow and navy blue shirts, and they also have tags to ensure that you find your way through our different venues. And we also have room monitors who will provide you guidance in each and every room that you'll be using for the entire duration of the conference. I kindly request that all presenters please make sure that you load your presentations during our tea breaks. Before we conclude the session, I will be asking that we kindly take a group photo session at the veranda, which is this side where there's tea and coffee. That is a kind request that we are making to you today. Distinguished guests, once again, kindly allow me to call upon our speakers as outlined in the program, and we adopt the program as is. Let us give a warm welcome as I call our presenters to the stage. I would like to call upon Professor Aldo Strubel, the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Innovation, and Internationalization at the University of Mpumalanga, who will be acknowledging our distinguished guests this morning and doing the welcome remarks. Professor Strubel.
Dear colleagues, a very, very warm welcome to the 6th National Global Change Conference and to the University of Mpumalanga. It's really my pleasure to acknowledge your presence here on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Mpumalanga, Professor Tenjiwe Miyiwa. We're very pleased by the presence, and we acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Minister, the MEC, senior Department of Science, Technology and Innovation representatives, also from the National Research Foundation, provincial governments, esteemed researchers, guests, partners from across the globe, everyone, thank you for being at the University of Mpumalanga. We are privileged and excited to host and participate in this significant gathering of scientists, policymakers, thought leaders, and innovators who have dedicated their work to understanding and responding to the complex and dynamic environment shaping our changing planet. The partnership with the DSTI, the National Research Foundation, and the Mpumalanga provincial government is highly acknowledged and appreciated. This conference, as you all know, convenes at a time when the world finds itself navigating unprecedented environmental shifts. Climate change, biodiversity loss, water scarcity, food insecurity, energy transitions, and rising social vulnerabilities are no longer distant projections. They are lived realities for communities across our continent and beyond, and in our province. The importance of platforms like the Global Change series of conferences and the work especially of the Global Change Science Committee and program at the National Research Foundation, supported by the DSTI, which bring together knowledge systems, methodologies, and diverse voices, cannot be overstated, colleagues. It is in these shared spaces that we form the collaborative responses necessary to secure a resilient and sustainable future. Indeed, as discussed last week during South Africa's 10th Science Forum, where many of you participated as well. At the University of Mpumalanga, one of South Africa's youngest and fastest growing, and dare I say, vibrant universities, we recognize that confronting global change requires more than academic discourse. It also requires place-based, society-responsive, and transformative research. Our geographical location, set within a region rich in biodiversity, agriculture, tourism, and natural resources, places us very central to the challenges and opportunities that defines global change science. Many of our institutional research niche areas align closely with the central themes of this conference: biodiversity conservation, sustainable agriculture, climate-smart food systems, water resource management, rural development, socio-ecological resilience, and indigenous knowledge systems. These areas allow us to contribute evidence that is both globally relevant and locally grounded, and with a very clear mission towards gender equality, education, and community development. We bring this expertise like the recently launched UMP Oppenheimer Research Chair in Biodiversity Conservation. And by participating and hosting prominent fora, like the second Research and Innovation Working Group of the G20 in May, like the Agricultural Ministers meeting of the G20 in September, and of course, large-scale, multidisciplinary, multi-country program, like the Centers of Research Excellence in Sustainable Food Systems, where the university is a partner, and the newly launched German Africa Center of Excellence in Food Systems and Data. All of this are evidence of our strategic engagement and focus for impact. Working closely with the province, and as the MEC will attest, one of our strengths as a university is our commitment to integrating indigenous knowledge with modern scientific approaches. Global change is therefore not solely an environmental issue, it is a cultural, social, and economic one. The lived experiences and long-held knowledge of local communities hold invaluable lessons for adaptation, resilience, and stewardship. As we progress in our research mission, colleagues, we continue to champion these pluralistic perspectives as essential contributors to global knowledge production. The 6th Global Change Conference provides a unique opportunity to deepen these conversations, forge new collaborations, and reaffirm our collective responsibility to future generations. It is my hope that over the coming days, you will engage openly, you will challenge each other constructively, and that you will inspire each other boldly. To our international guests, we welcome you warmly to Mpumalanga, the place where the sun rises. May you find your time here enriching, both intellectually and experientially. Colleagues, to all our delegates, thank you indeed for your dedication to advancing knowledge in service of humanity and of the planet. Your work is vital, and your presence here reflects a shared commitment to shaping pathways towards sustainability, equity, and resilience. In conclusion, real high acknowledgement, colleagues, for the leadership role and direction that Professor Ndiko Ludidi, the Dean of UMP's Faculty of Agriculture and Natural Sciences, has provided, Professor Wiseman Chingombe, Mr. Luma Matuana, Jonathan Diedrichs, and the various teams that are making this hosting this week a success. On behalf of the University of Mpumalanga, I wish you a productive, insightful, and transformative conference. Deputy Minister, MEC, esteemed guests, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Aldo, for the very warm welcome. Colleagues, allow me to recognize and acknowledge our co-host, Ms. Lindy Masina, the MEC for Education in Mpumalanga Province, as a co-host of this conference, for her to come on stage. A round of applause. Thank you.
Program Director, thank you very much for such an opportunity. As I greet the chairperson of the UMP Council, Ms. Mahlalela, and council members that are present here today, the UMP Vice Chancellor in her absentia, Ms. Tenjiwe Meyiwa, the Deputy Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Ms. Benny Swart, the Deputy Minister of the Department of Science, Technology and Innovations in her absentia as well, Dr. Noma Lungelo, the representative from various universities that are here today, representative from SALGA and municipalities, students and youth of Mpumalanga, representatives from all political parties that are here today, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guests, distinguished delegates, and fellow stakeholders, good morning. It is both profound an honor and privilege to stand before you today at this 6th Global Change National Conference. This gathering program director seeks to spark dialogue, inspire collaboration, and ultimately empower us to navigate the pressing challenges we face in our rapidly changing world. Our theme, Transformative Science for Social and Economic Empowerment in the Changing World, encapsulates the essence of why we are here today, to forge pathways forward towards sustainable solutions and a resilient future for our communities. As we come together in this conference, we pride ourselves on this university, the University of Mpumalanga, whether through the sweat and visionary thinking of our academics, who amongst them are Professor S.S. Rapinga, our former Minister of Education in Kangwane, and the first rector of the now defunct Elijah Mango College of Higher Education, Professor Shongwe, Dr. Matthew Posa, our first premier of this beautiful province. I, therefore, Program Director, urge UMP Council and the UP to consider naming some of the key buildings of this structure after these pioneers. That will truly mark the end of our long journey this university has undertaken and start off the transformative chapter for our Mpumalanga province. Our meeting today in this province, which embodies both the beauty and the complexity of our natural environment, reminds us of our unique responsibilities. Gathered here, Program Director, today, we are not just, participants in this global conversation. We are pivotal players in shaping the narrative of global change, the implication of which extends far beyond the walls that confine us today. A narrative that echoes through the lives of our citizens, the health of our ecosystems, and the economic fabric of our society. The objectives of this conference, as articulated by Professor right now on his remarks, align with the core aspirations of our province, fostering knowledge sharing, enhancing collaboration, promoting sustainable development, and empowering our communities. Through engaging discussion and interactive sessions, we'll examine innovative strategies that go beyond traditional boundaries, bringing together the public and private sectors, researchers, and community members in our pursuit of transformative solution. Program Director, ladies and gentlemen, in the face of the climate change, biodiversity loss, urbanization, and social inequalities, we must recognize that our communities are central to these global challenges. In Mpumalanga, we observe the tangible impact of environmental changes. Erratic weather patterns threaten our agriculture. Water scarcity affects our daily lives, and socio-economic disparities continue to impede our collective progress. Therefore, as we all know, Program Director, Brazil, Belém, hosted the COP30 from the 10th to the 21st of November 2025, which Brazilian presidency designated as an implementation COP with focus on accelerating solutions to deliver on the nationally determined contribution. Key negotiating issues this year included indicators for the global goal on adaptation, scaling up climate finance for developing countries, and advancing a just transition. There was also a dialogue on implementing of our outcomes of the global stocktake. The Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015 by all 196 parties to the UN Climate Convention, including South Africa, aims to keep the global average temperature below 2 degrees Celsius and to pursue the efforts to limit it to at least 1.5 degrees Celsius. It concentrates on enhancing adaptation to climate impacts and aligning financial flows with national needs. Program Director, a key instrument for reaching those objectives is the nationally determined contributions, which detail each country's commitments to cut greenhouse gas emission and adapt to climate change. Knowing our emission status, Mpumalanga has welcomed Council for Geoscience, a government body which established South Africa's first pilot carbon capture, utilization and storage site in Mpumalanga, intending to reduce substantial carbon dioxide emission from the nearby industrial areas. In Govenembeki Program Director, local municipality, within the Gert Sibande district, which is a significant emission hotspot. Therefore, this conference, as we engage, we must always uphold the three priorities of our government to promote inclusive growth and job creation, to reduce poverty and address the high cost of living, and build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Program Director, ladies and gentlemen, looking at the vision of MP, as you enter the premises, one cannot agree more and applaud those who identified this university as the co-host of this esteemed event. Oh my good God. My apologies. My gadget has just dealt with me. Okay, thank you very much, Program Director. My apologies. As a key instrument for reaching those objectives is nationally determined contributions, which detail each country's commitment to cut greenhouse gas emission and adapt to climate change. Therefore, as we say that this conference is not solely a platform for exchanging ideas, it is a call to action. We must utilize the insight gained in Brazil and at this conference to build a resilient and united front against these challenges we are talking about. As we engage Program Director, we must always uphold three priorities of our government: to promote inclusive growth and job creation, reduce poverty and address high cost of living, and to build a capable and ethical and development state. Program Director, ladies and gentlemen, looking at the vision of this UMP as you entered the premises, one cannot agree more and applaud those who identified this university as a co-host of this esteemed event. The university's vision of being African university leading in creating opportunities for sustainable development through innovation by offering high-quality educational and training opportunities that foster the holistic development of students through teaching, learning, research, and engagement with the strategic partners underlines its commitment to being a socially responsible, innovative African institution. It is dedicated to addressing local and global challenge by creating opportunities for sustainable development. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, being part of this global community necessitates that we transform the way we deliver services to our people. We need to embrace the political of artificial intelligence and other cutting-edge technologies while focusing on critical consideration and inclusivity. The integration of AI presents an opportunity for innovation and effectively, but it also requires us to confront these realities of job automation and economic disparities. Our province, Mpumalanga, has a high unemployment among our young people, among our women, and our people with disability. Although seeing automated tills at some of our supermarkets, robot providing wait services in various hotels, and the use of drones for delivering medicines in urban areas give us hope that as a province and the country, we are progressing towards a high standard of services seen in the first world countries. Our optimism quickly fades when we consider the jobs and incomes that these innovatives may displace. As government of Mpumalanga and you, our stakeholders, we are responsible for ensuring that technological progress is balanced and it benefits all members and all societies, creating an environment of fairness and opportunities for all. Therefore, Program Director, ladies and gentlemen, our discussions today support the broader framework of sustainable development goals, which act as a guiding of our efforts. Then, by aligning our initiatives with these global goals, we even make meaningful progress towards the sustainable and prosperous future. The significance of climate change, biodiversity conservation, and equitable access to resources, including AI, cannot be overstated. Our commitment to these priorities will shape our policies, inform our research, and direct our community engagement towards their own liberation. Program Director, I firmly believe that with the right choices, climate action can be a strong driver of our inclusive growth, saving lives, protecting homes, supporting sustainable job creation, and safeguarding livelihoods. In conclusion, Program Director, let me remember that this 6th Global Change National Conference marks a significant moment in our ongoing journey. In our efforts, it offers, a chance to unite our voices, shares our knowledge, and forge partnership that will last beyond this event that we are in today. As an African in general, and a South African in particular, must reflect on the positive feeling generated by hosting the G20 ministerial working groups in our province, which went very well as the country's successful hosting of the G20 heads of states, which is an achievement that we should continue to build upon. Together, we can create potential solutions that empower our communities, safeguard our natural resources, and strive for a more sustainable future. Thank you in advance for your commitment, for your possession and dedication to tackling the challenges of the global change. I eagerly anticipate the upcoming engaging discussion and the collaborative efforts that will undoubtedly arise from this esteemed gathering. The father of our democracy in South Africa, Dr. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, once said, and I quote, "Everyone can rise above the circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do," and I close quote. Program Director, let me start this journey together, equipped with the insight and determination, and encourage positive change in Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun and beyond. Thank you very much, Program Director, as I conclude.
Colleagues, another round of applause for our MEC. Yes, indeed, we are all key players in making the changes that we want to see. And thank you for reminding us of the G20 deliberations that were successful. And you'll be reminded also that the province also hosted the G20 in May through the University of Mpumalanga, a very successful event. Colleagues, allow me to acknowledge the National Research Foundation, represented on the program by Dr. Zolani Toisi, Executive Director at the NRF. Let us welcome him with a round of applause as he gives us opening remarks. Thank you. Can we clap until they arrive on the podium? Thank you so much.
Program Director, Deputy Minister, MEC, Dr. Strubel, my former colleague, The leadership of the DSTI, members of the Global Change Science Committee, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to first apologize for our CEO, Dr. Nola Mondo. He couldn't make it to this event today. The NRF is delighted to be part of bringing together the collective minds committed to addressing the most complex issues related to global change. For over a decade, through the Global Change Grand Challenge, the DSTI and the NRF has strategically supported knowledge production that can enable South Africa, and the world to respond to environmental and societal shift in an informed and innovative way. The NRF supports global change through various disciplines, including humanities and social science, as well as natural science. We've got a number of programs that we are supporting, and for over almost 20 years, we've been supporting the global change research, and in particular, climate change research. The funding is inclusive of students support, postgraduate level, early career researchers, as well as established researchers, including the DSTI NRF research chairs. Apart from funding postgraduate students and researchers, the NRF plays a critical role in building and maintaining national research infrastructure through national facilities. Two of these national facilities specifically support global change and climate change research, which are South African Institute of Aquatic Biodiversity, as well as South African Earth Observation Network. Those facilities mostly support projects related to climate change, and the Institute of Aquatic Biodiversity support mainly issues or research around fisheries as such. Most of the researchers in this conference are supported through various programs by the DSTI and managed. These programs are managed by the NRF. Some of these programs include Foundation Biodiversity Information Program, Applied Centers for Climate Change and Earth System Science, Centers for Global Change, Belmont Forum, Collaborative Research Actions, Earth System Science Research Programs, and Global Change Social Science Research Program. So as I mentioned, colleagues, the social sciences and humanities also are supported together with the natural science, and this is a testimony in terms of the programs that we are supporting in partnership with the DSTI. This sixth conference is a testimony of government's continued support for research and knowledge sharing. We hope we'll have this conference supported for the next 10 years, in particular by the DSTI, because this is part of the contract of strategic science mission, which has been part of the 10-year innovation plan that extended to DSTI a decadal plan 2022 to 2032. The concept of global change has matured. It's no longer just about environmental trends like the global trajectory of our climate change, but also the pace of change in technology and the dynamics of the geopolitical era. It is therefore important that our research must produce knowledge that is not just intellectually rigorous, but also useful, actionable, and impactful. We must prove beyond inquiry for its own sake to deliver concrete evidence-based solutions that enhance the resilience of our society and foster a sustainable, prosperous future for all South Africans. Over the next few days, as Dr. Strubel indicated, I also encourage you to engage, network, and collaborate. Let us ensure that outcomes of this sixth National Global Change Conference drive real transformation action on the ground. I wish you all a successful, inspiring conference. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joyce from the National Research Foundation. Colleagues, allow me to recognize and also acknowledge the Honorable Ms. Bernice Swartz, Deputy Minister, Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, for her to give us complimentary remarks. A round of applause.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, Dr. Naledi Ntinte, Deputy Minister, Dr. Gina, in absentia, Professor Tenjiwe Mayiwa, Vice Chancellor of the University of Mpumalanga, in absentia, Professor Strubel, Dr. Zolani Doisi, all representatives of Mpumalanga University, distinguished academics and scientists, partners from government, business, and civil society, students, all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I should first say that I'm very excited, Chairperson, because I was born and bred and grew up in Matsulu. So years ago, this was just a bush and a college alongside it. So I'm even more excited to stand here today for the first time inside in the building of this university. It is an honor to speak at the opening of the 6th National Global Change Conference at the University of Mpumalanga, in a province at the heart of South Africa's environmental transition. This 6th National Global Change Conference, aptly themed Transformative Science for Social and Economic Empowerment in a Changing World, builds on to South Africa's science, technology, and innovation decadal plan which elevates climate change and sustainability as grand challenges. It prioritizes data-driven early warning systems, climate-smart agriculture and forestry, clean energy systems, and cross-disciplinary research translated into policy and practice, exactly the kind of transformative and inclusive science we are championing today. This conference takes place at a defining moment in the global efforts to confront the mounting pressure on our planet's natural systems, from environmental degradation and biodiversity loss to pollution. These interconnected issues threaten not only ecosystems, but also livelihoods, communities, and human health and well-being. The urgency for decisive and united action has never been greater. Addressing these multidimensional complexities demands that we strengthen multilateral cooperation, scale up innovation, and move from commitment to implementation. Just days ago, South Africa successfully hosted the G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg under the theme Solidarity, Equality, and Sustainability. This historic G20 summit, the first to be held on African soil, amongst other issues, reaffirmed the G20's commitment to inclusive growth and climate resilience. The G20 Leaders Declaration, adopted at the summit on the 22nd of November 2025, places climate, energy, science, and technology at the center of global cooperation, what I call to move from rhetoric to action. Furthermore, the G20 Leaders Declaration recognizes national just transition pathways as key enablers of climate action, encompassing a whole of economy and whole of society approach in support of efforts to achieve sustainable development, equity, eradicate poverty, while fostering meaningful social and economic opportunities. At the same time, the G20 summit was taking place, the 30th conference of the parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was concluding in Belém, Brazil at COP30. South Africa championed implementation, scaling adaptation, finance, strengthening just transition cooperation, and advancing mechanisms to turn plans into projects. The Palermo package adopted at the COP30 signaled a global commitment to triple adaptation finance by 2035 and launched a just transition mechanism centered on people and equity. This included a decision to establish a 2-year work program on climate finance, including the provision of finance to developing countries. Additionally, the COP called on developed countries to triple adaptation finance by 2035 and to increase the trajectory of their collective provision of climate finance for adaptation to developing countries. In this regard, South Africa also welcomes the guidance to triple finance flows to international funds and calls for an ambitious and successful replenishment of the Global Environment Facility, the Green Climate Fund, as well as for increased pledges to the Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage Fund. South Africa also robustly advocated for the adaptation of a mechanism for the implementation of the United Arab Emirates Just Transition Work Program decision. It was agreed at COP30 to develop a just transition mechanism to enable just transitions and enhance international cooperation, technical assistance, capacity building, and knowledge sharing. South Africa's active participation in multilateral environmental agreement processes such as COP30 reaffirms our commitment to multilateralism and our resolve to be part of solution to global challenges. These international outcomes matter here at home. They strengthen global support to financing, technology transfer, and capacity building. Our communities need to adapt, diversify, and thrive. On the domestic front, we have acted boldly. The Climate Change Act of 2024 provides a transformative legal framework for mitigation, adaptation, and a just transition. Together with the Just Transition Framework, these policies ensure climate action sides with vulnerable communities, advocates for inclusive development, and creates green opportunities while projecting jobs. The province of Mpumalanga, historically reliant on the coal value chain as a significant contributor to the economy, is central to this transition. Here, through programs such as Accelerated Coal Transition Program, an initiative funded by the Climate Investment Fund, we are turning challenges into opportunities for investments in renewable energy, biodiversity restoration, and importantly, sustainable livelihoods. In this regard, it is recognized that innovation and technology are critical to solving local problems, from improving air and water quality to restoring ecosystems and creating green jobs. Here, the role of emerging scientists and students in these fields is indispensable. Your creativity and research are driving solutions for climate resilience and inclusive growth for the benefit of present as well as future generations. Indeed, this is your opportunity to lead transformative change and shape South Africa's sustainable and climate resilient future. Transformative science must empower, it must lower the cost of developing and deploying clean technologies, protect biodiversity and food systems, and expand opportunities for historically marginalized communities. To the scientists and students here today, your work is vital to developing the body of research to underpin an evidence-based approach to the just transition. To our colleagues in government, business, and civil society, your collaboration turns research into policies and programs to support this resilience. In conclusion, let us these days, during this Global Change Conference here in Bombela, to contribute towards science, research, and innovation, develop pilot projects and policies that bring a just, inclusive, and sustainable future within reach. Together, we can and we will accelerate the transformative science that empowers our people and safeguards our planet. May God bless Mpumalanga. May God bless South Africa. May God bless Africa. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Minister from the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. Colleagues, indeed, the research that we do as a university, as students, as researchers, is that one that brings impact, not only through publication, but the impact that we can realize in our communities, in our province, and also in our country. Our research cuts across biodiversity, environmental challenges, crop farming, food security and sustainability, hospitality and tourism, just energy transition, and also economic development, and also how we can influence the policies to better the lives of our community. Having said that, let us recognize and give a round of applause to our next speaker, Dr. Gilbert Siko, on behalf of the Honorable Deputy Minister from the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. Let us welcome him with a round of applause. He will be giving us a keynote address on behalf of the Honorable Dr. Gcina. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director, and Honorable Deputy Minister, Dr. Strubel, the MEC, and Dr. Joseph. Ladies and gentlemen, I first like to send apologies on behalf of Dr. Gcina because she was meant to be here, and then she also meant to provide a video recording of this speech that I'm going to read out. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, that was not possible. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to read to you the address by Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Nomalungelo Gcina. Open quote. Honorable Premier of Mpumalanga, Mr. Mandandlovu, represented here today by the MEC for Education, Ms. Lindy Masina, Honorable Deputy Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Ms. Bernice Swartz, members of Mpumalanga Provincial Government Executive Council present here, Professor Thenjiwe Meyiwa, Rector and Vice Chancellor of the University of Mpumalanga, represented here by Professor Aldo Strubel, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Internationalization, Executive Council and Senate of the University of Mpumalanga, Professor Fulufelo Noramondo, CEO of the National Research Foundation, and public entities represented here today by Dr. Zolani Josi, Prof. Mulala Deni Simatele, Professor in Environmental Management and Sustainability Science at the University of Witwatersrand, who will be delivering a scientific lecture in this opening plenary session. Heads and coordinators of the DSI NRF funded global change programs and initiatives, senior government officials, DSTI, DFFE, and other governmental departments at national, provincial, and local government levels, the Global Change Science Committee and the broader global change community, researchers, scientists, and students, decision makers, and beneficiaries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to speak to you today at this momentous occasion. As a department charged with the responsibility and mandate of coordinating and managing the National System of Innovation, we are indeed proud to be organizing this popular biennial National Global Change Conferences, jointly with the National Research Foundation. This conference is the sixth in the series of conferences which began in 2012. This year's conference should therefore be viewed as a continuation of the important work which my department, jointly with the NRF and the Global Change Science Community, has done in creating a platform for global change community and stakeholders to robustly engage in topical issues relating to global environment change and environmental disaster. For example, climate change and disease pandemics, which South Africa and the rest of the globe face today, and to share experiences, best practices, and practical scientific solutions to some of these persuasive challenges and disasters. This year's theme, which is Transformative Science for Social and Economic Empowerment in a Changing World, compels us to think deeply about a number of global, regional, and national societal challenges, including the need to work together to address the complex issues. One is the deliberate and sustained use of research and innovation, not just in resolving the day-to-day social problems of communities or countries, but the deliberate use of research and innovation to build a more equal and humane world. This kind of deliberateness is necessitated by a number of factors. One is the fact that over the past 200 years, the world changed more and faster than at any time in the human history. This also suggests that the next half a century is going to be crucial or critical for the long-term survival of human civilization. More specifically, in the next half a century, research and innovation have to be deliberately focused on addressing such problems as increased urbanization, resource harvesting, invasive species, pollution, increasing atmospheric and ocean carbon dioxide concentration, and land use change are all factors in global change. Equally important is the need to bear in mind that rapid growth of human population, advancement in technologies, long-distance trade, and interconnectedness are using an increasing share of the Earth's resources and transforming larger parts of its surface than ever before. In response to these global challenges over the years, South African scientists have made key contributions, not only through publishing and sharing research outputs at various platforms such as in conferences like the one we have today, but also through participating in planning and implementing of strategic global change and broader environmental sustainability initiatives. At global and continental level, there are initiatives such as the Group on Earth Observation, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. Other such initiatives include the Belmont Forum, the Global Ocean Observing System, the Global Climate Observing System, to name but a few. The NRF currently holds a regional secretariat for Future Earth and has set necessary structure to operationalize the office. In 2022, Cabinet approved the first Science Technology Decadal Plan, 2022 to 2032, signaling my department's intention to make innovation a priority, while at the same time placing more emphasis on impact and benefit to society. The plan gives effect to new white paper on science, technology, and innovation, which Cabinet adopted in 2019, and combines with the department has been driving in the last decade and a new emerging areas of comparable advantage to South Africa. These configured priority areas assist South Africa to pivot and place transformative STI at the center of socio-economic development, while at the same positioning South Africa as a significant player globally. At national level, the Global Change Research Plan under the Global Change Grand Challenge, one of the 5 focus areas in the 10-year innovation plan, continues to provide important framework and parameters within which global change research is funded and is anchored on 4 knowledgeable challenge areas in the Global Change Research Plan. These knowledge challenges are understanding the changing planet, adapting the way we live, reducing our carbon footprint, and innovation for sustainability. Most of the topics of or research questions within these areas are not only deal with research advancement in terms of knowledge products and innovative solutions, but also with the relevance of science in decision-making. Our commitment to research and innovation in the area of global change is also inspired by a number of factors. One of our own scientific expertise in our country, please let me state that most of South African scientists' publications are in natural sciences, and this generates the largest impact of all South African research output across all disciplines. The other factors that inspire our focus on global change are the unique features of our country, which we believe make us both attractive and a priority area for research on global change. These include, among others, number 1, Our location at southern tip of African continent and surrounded by 3 oceans that significantly influence the climate system of the region. And 2, our unique reach and biological and ecological diversity, making us the 3rd mega biodiverse country in the world. And 3, the structure of our economy. South Africa contains an economic spectrum ranging from capital-intensive industries to substantive farming and from prosperity to extreme poverty. Through these biennial national global change conferences, this conference being the 6th National Global Change Conference, we create a platform for robust engagement and deliberations on global change-related topical issues and share knowledge and experiences of a wide range of role players with a view of advancing South Africa research and developmental ambitions. They are jointly hosting with institutions of higher learning like University of Mpumalanga is specifically intended to expose global community to various teaching and research offerings at these institutions, in the process raise their profile as well. We will continue to use these biennial conferences as an opportunity to expose the young or early career researchers to international, regional research platforms, opportunities for them to network and for them to form relations with the researchers and scientists from other parts of the world. Most importantly, we view this conference as a space for strategic conversations between knowledge providers, in particular universities and research entities, and decision makers, and private sector that can lead to formal partnership. In conclusion, I wish to thank our entity, the National Research Foundation, the Global Change Science Committee, and the University of Mpumalanga for supporting us in hosting this important gathering. I further wish you a productive conference and look forward to the outcomes of your deliberations. Thank you. I'm closing quote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siko, and we appreciate the Honorable Dr. Qina for sending you through. Colleagues, can we give our plenary a round of applause again? This brings us to the conclusion of the first session, and I would like to appreciate your attendance and your patience with us this morning. I'm going to ask all of us that we kindly go to the veranda where we had coffee for us to gather for a photo session before we go for tea breaks. And you'll also note that we've got posters at the back and exhibitors. Please do make time to engage with them. Thank you very much.